With reserve list card prices continuing to fall, we have to ask ourselves, where are all the whales that used to be buying up all these reserve list cards? Are the whales starting to go extinct? Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here, and thanks again for hanging out with me on the channel today. A big shout out to all the new subscribers joining the channel. Guys, thanks again for hitting that subscribe button, leaving comments in the comments section, and giving my videos thumbs up. My Patreon members who support this channel each and every day of the month, my YouTube membership members, and of course the regular viewers who tune into my content and let me know what's going on in the world of Magic the Gathering. We are so close to that 14,000 subscriber mark, 680 subscribers to go. Guys, I can't wait to see how far we take the channel. With reserve list prices the way they are right now in the market, you would think we'd have some of the whales coming over and gobbling up some of these cards. You'd think we'd see some kind of buyout action. But the market right now in MTG is not showing me that. Yes, we have daily sales on certain cards, lower end cards, higher end cards. There's still movement, but not like you would expect when reserve list card prices are retreating this fast and this far. This just is another blow to the MTG market finance area. Because without those players injecting revenue into LGSs, into the value of the game, it just further causes a receding of value overall in the strength of the market. I don't think I've seen it this bad in a very long time. I'm still seeing sales, but not as high. And a lot of players who are buying are first-time buyers. Guys who've always wanted to get that Gaia's Cradle, that Sarah's Sanctum, maybe even a Sliver Queen for the first time. And there's nothing like getting your very first piece of a dual land. Or, I hate to say it, even a piece of power. Not all the prices are falling the same way, of course. But when you think about those high-end investors, I don't think they're anywhere gone. I think they're still around. They're hiding out there, looking in on things like through a window. And they're waiting to see what happens. Just like we are as regular players out there who might be buying the odd card, the guys who've got the big incomes to really affect the market, they're not sure what Wizards has planned. They don't know what we, the players, are going to do and how we value those cards and judge them. So they sit and they wait, just like we are. Everyone's waiting to see who blinks first and who makes the first move. And that is going to lead us to a very interesting time in Magic. Not only are singles kind of dominating the market as opposed to sealed boxes, right? How is that market going to play out? Well, time will tell. I think it'll be okay, but you never know. When you see singles in reserve list cards, though, and nobody buys anything, players who've already paid for their cards are probably just going to sit on them and enjoy them, especially new first-time buyers. They're the players out there who just want to own these cards. So on today's Card Watch video, I'll go over some of the cards and some of the values going on, attaching some of this to Brothers War and where some of these deals and values can be found because some of them are at really attractive prices right now. So let's get this party started. Let's take a look at things. And of course, if I've missed anything, let me know in the comments section. And guys, it's reserve list cards. It's an awesome time always in Magic when we get to talk about that. The first card I'm sharing with everyone today is Tawnos' Coffin from Antiquities. $280 Canadian locally, moderately played. The market though is $187.82 for a near mint copy US. And of course we have €169.80 to get this card into your house. With Brothers War fast approaching, a lot of players might be attracted to a card like this, but it is the worst time to buy this card. The market's not right for it. It's actually overpriced from where it should be right now. The market isn't going to absorb this. Let the price continue to fall. Pick it as it goes down. Find the price that actually suits you as a player the most. I myself, I think I paid 90 something dollars Canadian for each of the copies I own. And back then it was just starting to rise up from that $70 level in early 2021. So you look at it now and you say, where the market is, it's probably an overpriced card right now. If you own one and you don't have to sell it, I would hold on for the long term. If you're a player, though, who wants to buy this card, the Brothers War is not the time to buy it. I would wait the 90 days, let the price continue to fall, and then pick it up when the set's kind of lost its luster and steam from Brothers War. It's just one of those things you shouldn't just be absorbed into it because it's there. And as players reevaluate the values of cards, this is one of those things they'll be looking for. Now our next card is All Hallows Eve, and that's from Legends. This is an old school favorite, and it's been over $1,000 in 2021 and into 2022. But as you can tell, the market just is not keeping this card buoyant right now, and it's sinking in price. Locally, it is $650 Canadian for a moderately played copy. The market, though, says it's $494 US and 99 cents to get a near mint copy. And it's €403.75 to get this card into your house, showing that we have some price discrepancy in this card. It is an epic old school card, and I remember opening this in a pack. But guys, when I look at this and see how the prices are trending right now, chances are this card is actually going to sink a little bit more. Now, where's the fair market value for a card like this right now? I would bet if it hits the $400 US level, or around $515 Canadian, that's where you're going to see some people maybe start to bite at this card. But at the same time, maybe not. Because we have players still worried about the actual value of these cards going forward. And the stance that Wizards is taking is making it very uncertain for players to want to lock in to a long-term investment like this to make that money. Which means this card may continue to fall even further if you're willing to wait to get this card. As far as I'm concerned, if it hit the $400 level Canadian, I would probably try to grab a copy for myself since I don't own any currently. Now our next card is Guardian Beast from Arabian Nights. With the Brothers War and all the protections of artifacts and stuff, it's an interesting card to keep an eye on. The market value is $1,299.98, and that is ridiculous in this current market climate. Those who own this card, I do recommend holding on to it and not selling the card because you're not going to get your value back out of it. Here in Canada, you can find this card for $750 Canadian, okay, for a heavily played copy. I look at that and say, this is an epic old school card. I'm lucky I owned one for since my teen years. I've never traded or sold mine, so I'm lucky to have it. But I say to people who don't own it, you can wait a little while. This card is still falling. The market is not accepting the prices right now, and that means anyone who has to become liquid and get some cash will have to accept a loss on a card like this. If they're not solvent enough to hold on to it, they're going to be losing, and that can be to a player's advantage in the finance side of Magic who has more liquidity and can buy cards like this. The whales out there are not gathering these things up right now, and I'm not sure if that's just the fear, the uncertainty, sitting from the window watching things, with my nachos and cheese on the side saying, I stole Moxman's stuff. I don't know, I'm just saying. Now our next card, Cyclopean Tomb. $150 Canadian for a heavily played copy. The market, though, is $198.94 US for a near mint copy, €113 to get this card into your house. I've always enjoyed the artwork. I've used this card in my Commander Throw Bowl deck. It is fun. Turning lands into swamp is awesome, but it's never been a high utility card that had serious value. It is a fun card to use in casual games and just have a good time. There are ways of abusing the card, but they are very hard to connect together to make it happen, so a lot of players don't bother trying to make that kind of synergy happen. Cards like this should have a higher value, but not right now. So let the price sit where it is. I would not buy it, but I don't actually expect this card to fall much further. The players who own it have had them a very long time. It's never been that high of a sought-after card. There are some players who really have a they have a love for this card like I do, but doesn't mean that it's going to have future value going up really high, especially in the climate we're in right now. So it's a sitter. Now our next card, Copy Artifact Revised Edition. With things like the Brothers War and new artifacts coming out, cards like this always get attention. And as this card continues to go down in price, it will start attracting buyers at around the $70 Canadian level. Right now it's at $90 for a light played. You can see the market there is $64.76 US. If this card falls to the $40 US level, you're going to have quite a few people being attracted to cards like this. I still think the market overall will rebound as Wizards pivots to create some kind of collective certainty in the market again and restore order to the chaos they've caused. But this here, I think we have a little bit of time. And by the way, guys, if you're happen to buy any of these cards on TCG Play, if you're looking for reserve list cards, if you're shopping for cards in general, please remember to use my TCG Player affiliate link found in the description of my video you're watching right now or any of my videos. If you click that link, it takes you to TCG Player. My name's attached to it, so anything that you do an order on, I will get like a kickback to the channel of a few dollars, a few shekels to help the channel get some cards too. So I appreciate it, guys, if you took the time to do that. Thanks again. Copy Artifact, great card. Now the next card, Gate to New Phyrexia, Antiquities, same kind of deal. It's okay. You know, sacrificing a creature during your upkeep, destroy any one artifact. It has some uses, guys. But at the same time, it's never been that high value of a target. I know guys like Rudy, really, he's one of his favorite cards, just like I love the Argivian Archaeologist. But this kind of stuff probably won't hold at these levels right now. I think you're going to sink it back down to around the $60 mark US. So with cards like this, sooner or later, whales are going to be attracted to these cards. The question is when. It may not be at this moment, but they are watching. And when you get to cards like this, here's Martyr of Corollas, $27 Canadian, moderately played. The market, there was only $17.51 US for a near mint copy, €7.62. Of course, a card like this in Antiquities will draw attention because artifact damage going to these guys, okay? Just like the Veteran Bodyguard. Very interesting. So this card definitely will have some commander play probably going forward and more uses coming up as the years go by with anything artifact related. But its value, again, probably won't stick at this level right now. It'll probably go down a little bit faster than you would expect because cards like this, it'll take a very long time for them to actually have stick value. And when we have no certainty that any artifact deck is going to be out there, you want a more universally accepted card to draw that value. I love this card. I do have it in my white deck I'm trying to build in my commander, as well as the Veteran Bodyguard to kind of cover some bases and give myself a nice big blocker. But I'm more of a casual commander player as a competitive guy. It's just one of those things you're like, yep, this kind of card, it will have some value. It'll have its guys who love it and the guys who hate it. So interesting to see how it'll play out in the long term. But at this price point, I wouldn't care if you bought it or didn't buy it. It's a pretty cheap card to get your hands on still. Now our next card is Suchi. Everyone's probably seen the Super Suchi now that they gave us. Now the regular one at $130 Canadian near mint. And the Super one is basically, everything here is doubled. So it costs 8 and it's an 8/8 and you get 8 mana when it dies. Very interesting to see a Super Suchi, as we like to call it. But the market price is only $105 US. This card with the Super Suchi out there, which is interesting, I think this card will actually go down in value. There are players who are going to use it, play with it, love it. But I think some of the collectors out there will think, well, they're just duplicating the card. So I think you'll see some people try to bail on this card. I think the value will go down a little bit. I don't think we're going to see a big draw to it at the moment, which means any of these cards you see falling, guys, it may have that attraction for players to want to spend money. Just keep an eye on it. Give yourself a few days to make sure it's a card you want. If you can actually afford to get it, this might be the time for a lot of players to really, new players who've wanted these cards a long time, to grab them. Now, Dampening Field. This one here had a buyout earlier this year, okay? And it's kind of stayed right where it is. It's peaked. It's kind of like stuck where it is. Nobody's buying more, but nobody's really selling either. $40 Canadian for a near mint copy. The market's at $25.76. 1 white, 2 other enchantment. Players may not untap more than 1 artifact during their own untap phase. That's interesting. That means your creatures, your other artifacts, whatever you might be using, not poly artifacts like a Howling Mine, those aren't affected, but this stuff is. So kind of think about that. A lot of players bought these knowing they would have value, and I still think they will. But I think it's more of a sideboard card in case you come up some beastie deck. So keep that in mind, guys. The value will be there, but not as high as players think. And the last card, I have to mention it, is Leeches. Because, Poison, Brothers War, Phyrexia, it has to at least be brought out in the conversation. Here we have Leeches, one of the only cards, or is it still the only card that actually removes all poison counters after they're on you? If you take a look here, we're looking at an old Homelands card. Target player loses all poison counters. Leeches deals 1 damage to that player for each poison counter removed this way. So it hurts him a little bit. Cards like this have kind of been bought in the past, many buyouts, whenever it comes to things with infect and poison stuff. Cards like this get an attraction. $7 Canadian for a near mint copy. The market, $5.02. This is still not an expensive card. If you need to get 1 copy, I think it's a fair value to pay for it, just to say you've got one. Homeland's cards were abused. Same with like Fallen Empires and stuff. So definitely go for a near mint one. Spend the extra couple of bucks. Unless you just want one for play, then get a moderately played for like $2. Okay, it's not like a huge investment. But with no whales coming into the game and biting right now, you saw the prices on these cards. Leeches and stuff is cheap. Not a big high value target. Here's the Martyr of Corollas. But some of those cards, like Guardian Beast, those prices are coming down. All Hallows Eve, things are being restructured and repriced for how players view them now. That doesn't mean the market's not going to rebound at some point. It just means it may take a little bit longer. Which means, will the whales come back and start gobbling these cards up? Not until they think it's safe to do so. And that means a lot of cards are having a downgrade on their value right now. A lot of people lost money in the market. I mean, I'm sure on paper, I've lost thousands and thousands of dollars on some of my cards. I'm keeping them, so it doesn't matter. But for those people who are using these as investments to flip and get cash out of, they're hurting right now. And I understand that, and so do a lot of you guys. It'll be funny, interesting, shocking to see how this plays out in the next year. Because it isn't going to happen all at once. Whatever Wizards does, it takes time. They've already dedicated things happening. So the ship doesn't turn the way they want. But a few press releases here or there, a few little tidbits of information, and they can right the ship pretty quick and restore some civility back to the market. So thanks again, guys, for tuning in. Thanks for being here. Looking forward to seeing you guys in tomorrow's video. Have a great day, everyone. Hey, guys, a big shout out and a thank you to each and every fantastic patron on this channel who supports my efforts, guys. Thanks again, everyone. I feel like now's the time to start getting the harpoon sharpened and go fishing for some reserve list cards. Welcome back to the end of the video, everyone. You're here at that special time and place. I gotta be honest, although reserve list lands aren't really falling in price, a lot of other cards are, guys. It is getting to that attractive zone level where you start going, which ones should I buy? So, can't wait for my tax return to come in, see what we can make happen on the channel here. And of course, I do a whole new reboxing of the Patreon box for my patrons. So I'll be hunting for reserve list cards for next year. If I can find some really good bargains, who knows what spicy stuff we'll get to add for the giveaways. So thanks again, guys, for tuning in. Looking forward to seeing you all tomorrow. And if you made it this far in the video, remember, you got to put a little bit of a boomstick in there. Have a great day, everyone.